Okay, let's kick off this deep dive. We're looking at the AIDA Imaging PTZ4K12G-FNDI-X30W.
Yeah, that is a mouthful.
It really is. But our mission here is to figure out what all those letters mean and why this camera is aimed squarely at, massive broadcast setups and really high-end conference rooms.
Well, the first thing that jumps out at you is the 1-2 punch they've got. You're getting UHD 4K resolution at 60 frames a second.
Which is already impressive.
Exactly. But they pair that with this built-in AI-based auto tracking. So the camera can literally follow a speaker across a stage in perfect 4K with no one at the controls. That's a huge operational shift.
Let's stick with the image for a second. That 4K 60, that's coming from a 4K 9-megapixel, 11.8-inch Sony CMOS sensor, right?
That's the one. That sensor's doing all the heavy lifting, especially when you think about the optics in front of it.
The zoom.
The zoom. We're talking a 30x optical zoom at full 4K resolution. I mean, think about the engineering there. Keeping an image perfectly stable and sharp at that magnification, at that resolution.
Yeah, that's incredible.
It just shows this isn't some consumer gadget. It's a professional tool, and it's housed in this solid aluminum chassis that feels like it's built to last.
Okay, so that brings us to, I think, the most important part for professionals. The connections, the I/O panel. This is where a camera either fits into a pro system or it doesn't.
It is absolute versatility insurance. It has to speak every language, basically, and this one does. You have the full range of NDI options, so full bandwidth and NDI HX3 on top of all the physical output.
Well, hang on, you mentioned NDI HX3. For anyone catching up, why is that specific high-efficiency version so important for a big installation?
It's a massive cost saver. NDI HX3 gives you amazing video quality, but over standard, much smaller network bandwidth. You don't have to rewire your entire building just to handle the camera feeds.
Okay, got it.
And then they back that up with the heavy hitters, the physical ports. We're talking 12G-SDI, 3G-SDI, HDMI, USB-C, and even an SFP plus fiber connection for going super long distances with zero latency.
And I see they included SRT support, too.
That's right. Secure, reliable transport. That's for sending high-quality, low-latency video over the public internet, which can be, unpredictable. It makes remote production not just possible, but secure.
They really thought of every workflow. And they didn't forget audio, which, let's be honest, is usually an afterthought on PTZ cameras.
Oh, for sure.
They put in a mini XLR mic input with 48-volt phantom power. Why is that specific 48V spec so critical for broadcast?
Because your high-end condenser mics, the ones you need for studio quality sound, they need external power to work. That's what the 48V is for. Having it in the camera means you don't need a separate audio board just for that.
Simple.
And you still get a 3.5 millimeter line in for bringing in audio from another source. It's all about embedding it right into the stream.
So we have to talk about the price, because there's a really interesting wrinkle here. It's listed at $3,995, and there's a 10% off code available.
Right, but this is the crucial part for anyone shopping around. As of October 9th, 2025, AD added a mandatory 15% tariff to all their products.
A 15% tariff from the manufacturer.
Yes. And that $3,995 price already has that tariff baked in. So the implication is, if you see it for a lot cheaper somewhere else online,
that price is probably old and you're going to get a surprise bill later.
Exactly. It's a major heads up for buyers.
Good to know. And to balance that out, the vendor, HDTV Supply, is including free USA shipping, free returns, and lifetime tech support.
Plus, they guarantee it ships with the absolute latest firmware, which is important for these kinds of devices.
Okay, so wrapping this up, we have a camera that nails the specs 4K 60, 30x zoom, and has some seriously smart AI tracking.
But I think its real superpower is that just bomb-proof connectivity can plug into anything.
Right. And that brings us to our final thought for you. In an age where everything is moving to IP and network protocols like NDI, this camera still insists on having these massive, high-bandwidth physical connections, 12G-SDI and SFP plus fiber. So the question to think about is, why are those physical cables still absolutely non-negotiable for high-stakes professional production? It seems like when failure is not an option, the cable is still king.